change, change, change. Happy New Year, everyone! They say 2022 is 2022. I really hope it's not the case. When it comes to the new year, we've all said something like, new year, new me, but then we end up being the same old me. Why do we do that? I'll tell you why. Because staying the same is comfortable. Well, I'm here to make you uncomfortable. Today, let's talk about how to reinvent ourselves for real. You know, I have existential crises pretty regularly. If you ask me what I do in my free time, I'm either having a breakdown or I'm rebuilding myself from the breakdown.
It's a full-time job and it's extremely time-consuming.
Okay, let's be serious here. Unless you are an enlightened saint, there are going to be some parts in our lives that we're not happy with, that we would like to change. The thing is, a lot of us refuse to admit it, not only to other people, but also to ourselves. Well, if you don't look within yourself and be very honest, then you don't even know where you can start with the change, and obviously you're gonna stay the same. Generally, when we say we want to change or reinvent ourselves, we mean we want to change for the better. We want to be more happy, fulfilled, accomplished, or whatever. However, most people will settle for looking happy and fulfilled than actually being happy and fulfilled. This gap between how you appear and how you really feel is called the identity gap. I learned about this concept from the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I actually read this book when I was having a serious existential crisis. I know, fun. I just felt really unhappy and I wondered why. Everything seemed fine on the outside, but why did I feel unsatisfied? I was so unhappy to the point where I didn't even want to be myself anymore. Yes, dramatic. And that also explains why the title of this book really caught my attention. To visualize this identity gap, let's say this is how you appear, you know, how you want other people to see you, it's your facade, and this is who you really are, how you really feel, it's what you hide about yourself. In between this gap is the emotions you've memorized throughout your life, for example, unworthiness, anger, fear, shame, self-doubt, guilt, the real reason you can't appear exactly like who you really are. The only way you can truly reinvent yourself, not some superficial bullshit like, I changed into some new clothes and got a new haircut, is to identify and let go of these memorized emotional states that have become a part of your identity, thereby closing the gap between how you appear and who you really are, so that you can free up energy to actually create the life you want. Let's be real here. These emotions take up a lot of energy. It is extremely time-consuming. It's a full-time job. Shameless self-promotion time. I made a video on how to let go of negative emotions not so long ago, so feel free to check it out. But today, let's take a look at something more scientific. Neuroscience, how your brain works when you're trying to create change. Okay, I don't know shit about neuroscience, but I can read. The book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is about spirituality, but it combines quantum physics, neuroscience, brain chemistry, and so on to bridge the gap between spirituality and science. I know a lot of people are probably not convinced about spirituality. I didn't believe in it either. I was never religious or anything. But I slowly started to realize maybe spirituality is the way out of a lot of our problems, because you can't solve a problem on the same level you created it. To quote Dr. Joe Dispenza, when you try to figure out your life within the same consciousness that created it, you will analyze your life away and excuse yourself from never changing. Instead, let's just unmemorize your self-limiting emotions. A memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. That is wisdom right there. Well, if spirituality is too woo-woo for you, then let's take a look at neuroscience and see how our brains work. We've got 3 brains. The first brain is the neocortex. It's the outer layer of our brain. It's known as the thinking brain. This part of the brain contains the frontal lobe, which enables us to gather knowledge and think logically and creatively. The second brain is the limbic brain. It's our midbrain, also known as the feeling brain. This is where we experience emotions. The third brain is the cerebellum. This is the oldest part of our brain, also known as the being brain. This is where we store our automatic programming, like our habits, behaviors, attitudes, and beliefs. I'm sure we've all heard of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Like, okay, where is it? I find that this helps me visualize and understand things better. Our conscious mind is located in the neocortex, where the frontal lobe is, and our subconscious is located in the limbic brain and the cerebellum at the back. Our mind is made up of only 5% conscious mind, and the remaining 95% is subconscious. If we want to change for real, we need to go from our conscious mind and enter into the subconscious so that we can change our underlying self-destructive habits, behaviors, attitudes, and beliefs. Okay, sounds good. How do we go from the conscious into the subconscious though? The answer is meditation. It's funny, when I first picked up the book, I thought there would be some magical concept that I could just learn and my life would be changed forever. Well, it turns out you can't just learn something, you have to do something about it. And that something is meditation. I've dabbled in meditation for a few times. What do I mean by that? Well, I would do it for a month and then stop for half a year and then pick it up again. I know meditation is something that everyone says you should do, but I never really took it seriously. Like I said, I was feeling really unhappy, right? And as I was reading the book, trying to look for an answer, there it was again, meditation. And I was like, okay, fine, that's it, it's a sign. I really need to take meditation seriously now. You know, just like how I finally decided to take workout seriously over a year ago. If I can do it for my body, I can do it for my mind. Meditation is workout for the mind. What is meditation for though? I'm a rebel at heart. I'm not gonna do something just because someone tells me to. I only do something if I understand why I need to do it. The reason I finally made up my mind to take it seriously is that I think I finally started to understand the true value of meditation. To quote Dr. Joe Dispenza again, you are what you are where you are, and you are who you are because of what you believe about yourself. Your beliefs are the thoughts you keep consciously or unconsciously accepting as the law in your life. Whether you're aware of them or not, they still affect your reality. So if you truly want a new personal reality, start observing all aspects of your present personality. Meditation is how we can give ourselves a chance to observe our present personality, our thoughts and feelings, so that we can identify the aspects that we want to change and create a new self. Like I mentioned earlier, if you can't identify and admit what it is that needs to be changed, then you don't even know where to start, and you end up not changing. The book actually has a specific meditation to break the habit of being yourself. It's divided into week 1, 2, 3, and 4, a step-by-step process for you to ease into it, just like how you learn any skill. Week 1 is induction. Basically, you start with breathing and then place focus on different parts of your body and sense your position in space. It's more like intro meditation. Once you get comfortable with it, which might take a while, you can move on to week 2. This is when you pick one emotion that you want to memorize, recognize it, admit it, and then surrender it. In week 3, you repeat the previous steps and then add observing and redirecting. Remember how I literally said change at the very beginning? This is actually where it came from. And in week 4, you repeat all the previous steps again and then add creating and rehearsing. This is where you get to create your new self. Yup, this meditation could take up some of your time, but it's time for yourself, so it's absolutely worth it. When I first tried to do this meditation, I didn't know what to expect. And as I was listening to it, it just went on and on. I didn't know which part was week 1, which part was week 2. It ended up being this one big long audio file that goes for 70 minutes. And I just went with it. Well, I was warned to do it step by step. I didn't, because I was a rebel, and I started bawling my eyes out during the meditation. It was super intense. But I got a sneak peek into it and saw how powerful it was. Now I'm super pumped to do it. Well, not the crying part. Obviously, this is not the only meditation you can do, and it doesn't have to be intense like that. There are so many other guides for meditation online, so you can try different ones and see what works for you. Before I end this video, I just want to say, when you go about your life, when you're busy thinking about things, running around places, and being with people, you don't get a chance to actually quiet down and carve out time just for yourself. Meditation gives you the chance to pause and reset. I think you owe this time to yourself. Well, now that I've publicly announced I'm going to take this meditation thing seriously, I have to keep it up. Now, if you'll excuse me, let me get back to my meditation and reinvent myself.